I don't know how many fragrances I have from House of Lattafa, but if I had to choose only 12 fragrances for you for date night type of situations, I would choose the ones that are less daring, smoky something, you know what I mean, and the ones that have dressed up sexiness to it. Without any further ado, I want to start by one of the most underrated fragrances from this house, which smells very expensive and dressed up without being that much smoky daring. I'm talking about Blend of Lattafa EDP version. So if you like Lattafa Khamrah, it is like that fragrance, dried fruity, but it is, I can say, totally a different fragrance. It is only in the same direction, let's say, to this one. It is like very dense sweet with added rose, tobacco, and very little oud at the background. Tobacco is here very sour and gives to fragrance some vibes like whiskey. I can get solid 10 to 12 hours plus longevity with this one. Be careful of applying, like 4 or 5 sprays more than enough with this one. And projection and sillage is solid for first 2 hours. One of those highly luxury, expensive smelling and like dressed up black suit and tie smelling type of fragrances, hands down. At number 11, another highly underrated fragrance which doesn't get that much talk or hype, and it is crazy expensive smelling cheapy. I can compare it with Ambre Nomade in terms of that dressed up atmosphere, although it is not that much close to that fragrance. I'm talking about Ser Al Malik. Don't confuse this one with Ser Al Malika, which is feminine version of this fragrance. Ser Al Malik, one of the best rose oud saffron based fragrances. Such a high quality Turkish rose is here, very yummy, something between jammy and fresh. Then we have here a ton of saffron, and oud is way at the background of the fragrance. It is not like to your face. It is a very smooth and dressed up, extremely luxury smelling fragrance. One of those few rose based fragrances that I can enjoy it. Oh, at some points also reminds me of Black to Black from House of Montserrat. Oh, a rose oud, very little leathery and saffron based fragrance. Rose and saffron is much more prominent compared to the other notes. Very smooth and luxury smelling fragrance. I can get like solid 8 hours longevity with this one, with 2 hours of good projection and sillage. Now we are at top 10. Without any further ado, let's continue by Raed or Raed Silver. I can hear a lot say that he's very close to Montserrat Sedgat Boise. Has nothing to do at all with that fragrance. I would say it is like citrusy, sweet, slightly like pencil shavingy. At some points reminds me of Black XS and Pure XS together from House of Pakraban. It is closer to Pure XS, but I can get that fresh fruitiness like citrusy, strawberry opening of Black XS here. I would say it is like mixture of Black XS with Pure XS. I can get like 8-10 hours plus longevity with this one. Projection sillage is average to good and gets very great compliments. Let's continue fast. I don't want to make a very long video. I appreciate your time. So Art of Arabia 3, there is 1, 2, 3. I like 3 better for date night type of situations. For date nights and smells like dates, dried fruity, very sweet, dense, resiny, outstanding and highly expensive smelling. At some points reminds me of Dolce & Gabbana, the one Luminous Night. In that genre, but this one is a bit drier compared to that fragrance, and I can say this is safer at some points. It is delicious, but it is somehow unisex. I would say I can get solid 8 hours plus longevity with this one, 8 to 10 hours, and projection and sillage is great for first 2 hours. This is very yummy, yet dry and oriental type of fragrance. Nothing is here fresh. Everything note is here dry, like dried, even sweetness. Although I like dark fragrances better, and I don't care also for date night type of situations, I go with darker and deeper fragrances. But when it comes to the suggestion, too crowd, let's say, I cannot suggest it with a good conscience. Let's say that's why I chose Bade'e Al Oud Amethyst, which is like milder version of Oud for Glory or Oud for Greatness. More fruity, added fruitiness, and rose is here. It is like rosy, woody, and fruity type of fragrance, and oud is not that much to your face, but it is still in the same direction as Oud for Greatness with, let's say, less daring atmosphere. With Oud for Glory, Oud for Greatness, I can get like 10-12 hours plus longevity. With this one, 8-9 hours in terms of longevity, and projection and sillage is good for first 2 hours. Next one is again from the same line of Bade'e Al Oud, but this time it is Honor and Glory, which is even safer compared to the Bade'e Al Oud Amethyst. Let's remember the scent again. Oh, it is yummy. Just came from the gym. I'm hungry. It is mouth-watering. It is like gourmand. I can get dried coconut. I can get pineapple. It is like sweet. Sweetness is like sugary, a little bit candy flossy, but mostly in that sugary side. Let's say to this one, a sweet, tropical, fruity type of fragrance. Smells unisex, extremely mouth-watering and sweet, fruity. I want to drink it. I'm hungry. I can get with this one solid 8 hours plus longevity, 2 hours of good projection and sillage, and definitely one of those woman killer fragrances from House of Lattafa. At number 6, one of the best vanilla based fragrances. When it comes to the vanilla, this GP can beat your expensive niche high-end fragrances in terms of that vanilla, if you are into vanilla notes. Although it is a bit feminine leaning, but man, such a great vanilla based fragrance. I'm talking about Nebras. I would say it is like chocolate greedy from House of Muntal. Without that jammy tart, let's say orange zesty feel. Here we don't have that one, but it is very close to chocolate greedy from House of Muntal. It is like steaming cake in a bottle, very yummy, and vanilla is here extremely prominent. This one gets solid compliments from women, not that much from guys, but who cares. And so I can get like 8 hours plus longevity with this one. A bit difficult to find this one. It's one of those rare Lattafa fragrances, and projection and sillage is solid for first 2 hours. Now we're at top 5. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you find value in my videos, please remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. I want to continue by Royal Sapphire. So this one is, let's remember it again, very yummy. It is like slightly fruity at the top, just at the first like 10 minutes. It is a bit fresh. Then at the dry down gets spicy, dry, earthy, and candy flossy with touch of ambroxany synthetic woodiness. At the opening not that much, but at the dry down reminds me of like designery version of Colognes from House of Parfums de Mali. I can get inspirations, but not exact cologne of that fragrance. It is not as dry as Colognes because of that first 30 minutes of fresh opening, but at the dry down this is also a dry type of fragrance, like dry, soily, earthy, candy flossy, sweet and spicy type of fragrance. I can get solid 8 hours plus longevity with this one, 8-10 hours with 2 hours of good projection and sillage, and definitely one of those complimentary underrated fragrances from House of Lattafa. This one is also a rare but a great complimenting fragrance. I can't see that much talk about this one in terms of scent profile, price, and even presentation. A 10 out of 10 cheapy antique. So I would say it is in the Dior Homme Intense genre. That's powdery, lipsticky, fresh and dressed up type of fragrance, but closer to BDK's Grace Charnel. It is a very beautiful fragrance. Smells crazy luxury. I want to smell it again. Look at this beautiful bottle design, that mysterious scent profile, smells highly expensive, very luxury and dressed up. Very beautiful fragrance. I can get like 7-8 hours max longevity with this one, but projection and sillage, I would say it is like average for first hour and a half, or let's say to this one good 7 hours. It is not one of those strong fragrances in terms of performance, but in terms of effect on ladies, it is strong. One of my absolute favorites, one of those Lattafa fragrances that I will keep it forever in my collection, also has a great presentation and bottle design. Eternal Oud, pretty well known, not like for example Antique or Ser Al Malik. This one got pretty solid hype. It's beautiful. Actually, I like Grand Soir also. It is very close to Grand Soir from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is like woodier version of that fragrance. I have talked about this one, I think, enough in several videos. So if you like that fragrance, you're gonna love this one, because I believe this one is more masculine compared to Grand Soir, because of that little added oud at the background. If you haven't smelled that one, I would say it is like amber and vanilla based fragrance. It is like powdery, sweet, and has some sort of creamy, buttery milkiness to it. I can get 10 hours plus longevity with this one, and 2 hours of great projection and sillage. At number 2, I would suggest you Khamrah. It's a pretty well known fragrance. All of you know it, but for those who haven't, I would say it is like also dried fruity, cinnamony, spicy. You're gonna get ton of dates here, like dried dates, dried cinnamon, dried fruits, and some sort of very little booziness at the background of the fragrance, and has nothing to do with industry. Feminine leaning and extremely sweet type of fragrance. I would say lasts and lasts, projects and projects. Just 3-4 sprays, more than enough with this one for date night type of situations. You're gonna like it. Are you ready? At number 1, the fragrance that I would choose from House of Lattafa for date night type of situations. Is it better than most of these fragrances? It is more complementing. It is not as strong as most of the fragrances on today's list. It is average in terms of that performance to good, let's say like 7 to 8 hours plus. It is not like 10-12 hours, but scent profile is very unique. And Nashama. Okay, you're gonna get that Paragon, Initio Paragon vibe here. They are going after that fragrance, but it is not exact clone of that. I like it because it is like mixture of Lattafa Khamrah with Initio's Paragon, or let's say it is take off Lattafa on Initio's Paragon. They reduced that floral vibe, but still that backbone, that character of Paragon is here. But we have here added sweetness and dried fruity vibes and some weight, let's say, to this one, which I like it better. I believe it is still unisex, but I don't know why I feel this is better for me in terms of Paragon itself. Paragon is a bit too much floral and musky. They reduced that muskiness also here. So I can get like 7-8 hours plus longevity with this one, with 2 hours of good projection and sillage, and it is very sexy. Take care, guys.